Hey, everybody. Welcome back to LaFlamme Throwers. This is a quick take, and we are joined by Oliver Crawford III. And Oliver's a huge Bears fan, and he's done a Bears 2020 draft recap analysis. Oliver, I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away.
All right. So as we did our draft, we had no first round pick because as the Bears want to do, we had to trade up for a ski, as my friend Bob would say in our prior draft, our prior podcast. But anyway, so our first pick off the board was second round. We had 43rd overall Cole Kmet out of Notre Dame, Arlington Heights, Illinois. How you doing? He was an athlete, man. When he came out, he wasn't super highly regarded, but everybody in the Midwest knew he was good. He actually played two sports at Notre Dame, baseball and football, and played baseball his first year. Big dude, 6'4"-ish, 6'5". You know how they are on the combine. You never know how tall he really is. One of about 1 million tight ends on the Bears, though. They have like 7, I believe, as the last time I checked the roster. But he had about 6 touchdowns, really, really good when healthy. Second round, 50th overall was Jalen Johnson out of Utah. As we touched on the prior podcast, he has some health concerns, but I think he can be a really good lockdown corner, 6 foot. If you can play corner in the Pac-12, you can play corner with anybody. We got to skip all the way down to the 5th round, which would be Travis Gibson out of Tulsa. He's kind of a project, kind of like a bigger version of Leonard Floyd. He's a little raw. He's kind of like upright when he passes the passer, when he rushes the passer. Former basketball player out of Texas, was really, really lightly recruited, but as a senior, he had 49 tackles and 8 sacks. Pretty good player, man. He came on more so his senior year. He's kind of under the radar a little bit. And my favorite guy out of the draft, I think, because everybody knows about the first 2 picks, but I like Kendall Vildor out of Georgia Southern. DB, we can use him in the punt return. We're going to use him in special teams. I really, really like what he brings to the table because he can freaking just flat out run. If you run, sidebar, I went to Purdue one time and I actually saw somebody run a 4.4 on an electric track. I don't think that people really understand how fast that really is. He runs a 4.28. That's moving. Okay, that's like Olympic speed. The next pick we had was Darnell Mooney out of Tulane, wide receiver, burner. He's another guy that can really run 4.38 and a 40. He had 54 grabs in the duration of his career for 2,572 yards and 19 touchdowns. He's kind of little, so they're gonna have to use him in the slot. I don't know how creative he's gonna be in this route tree. He's probably gonna run a lot of 9 routes, and if you're not familiar with what that is, that basically means streaks. You might be able to run some deep post stuff like that, but we need somebody to be able to open up the defense a little bit. We'll see what we can bring to the table. And then the last pick was Arlington Hambright out of Colorado. I actually just read an article about him at the athletic website. Really good website. If you guys are like into sports, all kinds of sports are covered on that website. It's great. He came out of Colorado. He's kind of like a project tackle, can play guard. He's from Ypsilanti, Michigan. So he actually played basketball most of his career in high school. His coach was just basically like, you're a D1 athlete. They sent him to Garden City, Kansas, JUCO. I believe they won the national championship, went undefeated. I think they might have been featured on Last Chance University on Netflix. I'm not sure. I believe one of those teams was. Then he went to Oklahoma State, redshirted his first year at Oklahoma State, and then he played about 6 games as a redshirt junior. Then he was a grad transfer, first person in his family to graduate from college, so shout out to him. And then he transferred to Colorado, where his defensive coordinator at Garden State University was actually on the staff at Colorado, and he developed into a NFL draft pick. So I think he'd actually make a team because he can play all kinds of different positions besides maybe center. That's it, boys.
Well, one quick question. What did you want to see the Bears draft? Like, we're talking about you as far as knowing the team. What did you want them to draft?
In the second round instead of Cole Kmet?
Just in general, let's realistic.
I wanted to get like a legit wide receiver. Like, I would have liked legit Laviska Shenault out of Colorado. Would have been a good pick. I think they need a legit wide receiver. Somebody to play alongside Allen Robertson because Taylor Gabriel's not going to cut it. He's too little. Taylor Gabriel's smaller than I am. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. So, but I didn't think we needed another tight end. I understand they whiffed on Trey Burton, but seriously, man, they have like 7 tight ends on the roster. I wasn't joking about that.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we can just snap him the ball and have him run forward 3 yards at a time, and that could be the game plan this year.
What was that old cliche? It was like 4 inches in a cloud of dust or something like that. 4 yards in a cloud of dust. That's what we're trying to do, I guess.
Well, we have an Ohio State aficionado. He's not able to jump in right now because he's on mute, but it's Woody Hayes, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah,
That's
3
right.
yards in a cloud of dust.
OSU, man. I didn't know that,
Yeah.
Steve.
I think the 4 inches in a cloud of dust is Frog's girlfriend's mantra.
I think Bob would probably second that. He can be honest about it. We all know that Frog's not here right now. We don't need to be polite. But Oliver, I've got to ask. Your reaction puzzled me. You're not an Ohio State fan, huh?
My sister Carla is a University of Michigan grad.
Okay. All right, I got you. They beat Ohio. You're not going to believe this, but they beat Ohio State in football. Oh, how long ago was that? I don't know. Maybe close to 10 years or so. But they did.
When they had Chris Perry.
What's that?
When they had Chris Perry. Oh, I've won. Dang it! I meant to say this in my last thing. Tomorrow is my mom, Bonnie Crawford's birthday. I love you, Mom, and it's also my parents' anniversary. So I wanted to say what's up to them. I'll be seeing them this weekend. So
happy birthday and congratulations.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Ms. Crawford. Oliver, thank you so much for joining us. Guys, tune in for more LaFlamme Throwers. For my co-hosts, Bob and True Steve North, wishing you well. Stay safe.